Guys, so I wanted to make this video because I want to talk about some possible things that can happen in episode 9, some theories and some predictions. And first I want to start off with who could be the villain for episode 9. A lot of people have been wondering this. Some people are wondering, is it going to be Kylo? Is it going to be Hux? Since Snoke is dead, which I'm going to talk about a rumor that Snoke could come back in episode 9. So firstly, I'll address the Snoke thing. Now, a lot of people have been telling me this, and I've heard some rumors about it, that I guess Andy Serkis said that Snoke could come back, or he could be in episode 9. So, for me personally, I hope Snoke stays dead. I don't want him to come back in the movie unless it's through maybe like a flashback or something. I know some people were mad that Snoke died in the movie, but me personally, I was happy that he died. I was really happy that Snoke was not super powerful like Sidious. I was really happy that he wasn't just a copy of Palpatine. There is only one sass-mouthing, chair-spinning, black cloak wearing supervillain, and that is Palpatine. When I watched Force Awakens, I was like, oh no, please don't tell me they're going to make Snoke like Palpatine, because Palpatine was the ultimate villain. He was such a master manipulator, and I remember watching Force Awakens, I was like, are they trying to make a replacement Palpatine? You just can't be Ian McDermott's good Anakin good. He's just such an iconic villain, and so for me, I was happy that Snoke died because my impression of Snoke was that Snoke was kind of more of a pretender. Like, yeah, he was a strong dark side user, but I was like, there's no way he could beat Palpatine or Darth Vader. So I was actually really happy that Kylo killed him in The Last Jedi. When I looked at the concept art book for The Last Jedi, it said that Snoke was the man behind the curtain, which is a direct reference to The Wizard of Oz. In The Wizard of Oz, the mighty, great, powerful of Oz is really not a great, mighty, powerful wizard. I also thought Snoke was more of a plot device. I was also fine with Snoke dying because to me, I kind of felt like the story with Kylo and Rey was a what-if story of Anakin and Padme. So when I was watching The Last Jedi, I kind of thought that Kylo killing Snoke was sort of like a what-if scenario if Anakin was actually able to kill Emperor Palpatine as a young man. In the novelization of The Force Awakens, Leia talks to Han about Snoke, and she says that she's known about Snoke the entire time, and how Snoke has known about Kylo, has wanted Kylo basically to be his dark apprentice. Before The Last Jedi, I thought maybe Snoke was Darth Plagueis, and Darth Plagueis was Palpatine's master. But after The Last Jedi, I'm not so sure if he is Darth Plagueis. Now, I get why fans may not think he's really dead because Darth Maul died and came back. So I get why people would think, oh, Snoke might be alive because Darth Maul got cut in half and he ended up coming back. But me personally, I hope Snoke stays dead. I really wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of appearance of Snoke on Star Wars Rebels, because Star Wars Rebels has brought characters from the films and from other Star Wars mediums. And since Snoke is dead, it really wouldn't spoil a whole lot if he is in an episode of Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Rebels is finishing up its final season. Maybe they'll also explain the whole Snoke thing in episode 9. Now, on to the next candidate to be the villain, Hux. I personally wouldn't mind if Hux was the main villain. I kind of felt like that's what they were suggesting in The Last Jedi, because he was gonna kill Kylo and then Kylo woke up. In the original series, a lot of the Imperial leaders and Imperial bad guys like Tarkin were loyal to Vader. So I think it's a nice switch up to have Hux be disloyal to Kylo. I really wouldn't mind to have a non-Force sensitive person be the bad guy, to be the main bad guy. I think it would be different if the main villain is someone who is not a powerful Force user. So when it comes to bad guys that are Force users, there's the Knights of Ren. I feel like they were saving them for episode 9, so Rey would have some Force users to fight, and maybe Kylo and Rey will team up against the Knights of Ren. Maybe they'll try to hurt Rey or something, and Kylo will have to make a choice to save her. Also, someone told me that according to the visual book for The Last Jedi, there was something about Snoke having an apprentice the same time as Kylo. So maybe that secret apprentice will be a bad guy too. Now, if you guys watch my other videos, you know how much I want Kylo to be redeemed and how I want him to have redemption. I have been afraid that because Snoke is dead, they'll try to make Kylo the villain, but like I've said in my other videos, that would just be the same thing as Vader, and it would be really predictable, so I'm hoping that he's not. In The Last Jedi, when Kylo was talking to Snoke in the beginning of the movie, Snoke said that Kylo was even more confused than ever, basically, that he was split on the dark side and the light side. The scene with Kylo and Snoke, when Kylo said, "I have given everything to the dark side," to me, it reminded me of someone who feels like they have given all their dedication, hard work to this job that really sucks, and they realize how much they actually hate their job. Snoke said that Kylo had too much of his father's heart, which I was really happy when I watched that scene, because we know how Kylo is like Anakin. That's obvious. But I was happy that it was acknowledged that he also was like his dad, because usually you have some things in common with your parents. I thought the scene with Kylo and Rey when he was like, "You're not alone," she said, "Neither are you," it reminded me so much of "I love you, I know" scene with Han and Leia. I also think part of the reason why Kylo is on the dark side is because he didn't feel like he fit in with his family or identify with like his parents or Luke, and so when he found out that he was related to Vader, which he finds that out in Bloodline because Leia didn't tell him, he finds out in the canon novel Bloodline. It gets exposed in front of the Senate. I think when Kylo found out that he was related to Vader, it was like, oh, I'm able to identify with this person. Usually in redemption arcs, it's usually not until the third act or the last part of the story when the character fully redeems himself. Usually in most stories, the character, they have struggles, and it's the middle chapter where they kind of go to the good side. They have good moments and they have bad moments, but they don't make the full choice to turn completely good until the end of the story. For example, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, Zuko, who is very much like Kylo, he does not become fully good until season 3. Zuko has good moments in season 2, and there are points where he is swayed to completely go to the good side, but he doesn't until season 3, and he doesn't help the good guys until the end of the show. If you haven't seen Avatar, Zuko is a lot like Kylo. They're both disgraced princes. They're both scarred. They both have family issues. They both think that they're on some path for a destiny, but it turns out that destiny is the wrong one. Doing something bad is not their destiny, and they're both angry and both have issues. Before The Last Jedi came out, there was an interview where Rian Johnson said that there was going to be a new hue, there's going to be a new color lightsaber. And then when The Last Jedi came out, I was like, where was the lightsaber? Where was the new color? Obviously, there wasn't one in this movie. If there is going to be a new lightsaber color in episode 9, I have two theories about that. One theory is that maybe the new color of the lightsaber is the dark saber. I talk more about that in my Sabine and Rey video if you want to check that out. Or my other theory is that if Kylo redeems himself, his lightsaber will turn from red to white. In the novel Ahsoka's lightsabers that she gets in the book, and they are also in Star Wars Rebels, they were originally red, but she restores them to their true nature and they turn white. In the Ahsoka book, it explains why lightsabers are red. And basically, when Sith or dark side users are bending the crystal, they're bending it against their will and they're causing the crystal to bleed. That's why they turn red. But Ahsoka restores the crystals and they turn into white. So maybe the lightsaber color that they were talking about is going to be the white lightsaber color, because they said it was going to be a lightsaber color that's never been in the Star Wars movies. Well, the white lightsabers and the dark saber have never been on the big screen. I would love to see Kylo's lightsabers turn white, and if he redeems himself, white is often a symbol used for redemption, so that would be really, really cool to see. I would love to see that in episode 9. So I saw this in a YouTuber's video, and I'll put the link in the description box. But I saw that there was a comic of Leia. And in this comic, Leia is trying on Padme's clothes, and Leia is thinking to herself how she would love to give the clothes to her granddaughter if she had a granddaughter. If you guys watched my one video, I talked about how Leia joked with Han about Han becoming a grandfather in Bloodline. So I'm hoping these are all little clues. Hoping that these are clues that Kylo and Rey are going to have beautiful Force babies. And if you guys watched my one video, you know how I said I would love it if the Solo twins were the twins from Kylo and Rey. In the expanded universe, Leia and Han originally had twins, so I would love it if the Solo twins were from Kylo and Rey, and I think this would be a really smart decision to go forward with that, because it would open doors for some more storytelling if they wanted to make more movies in the future. It could be about Kylo and Rey's kids. Kylo and Rey wouldn't even have to be in the movies, or even if they didn't want to make movies, they could have Kylo and Rey's kids be in a expanded universe story. They could be in a TV show. They could be in anything. I would also love Kylo and Rey to have kids, because Rey always wanted a family, so I would love it if she had her own little family. I want to believe Kylo can be redeemed, also because Anakin's story was how he fell to the dark side, while Kylo's story the story we see of him starts out with him on the dark side. So I'm hoping that it is the reversal story of that, just like how it's the reversal story of Anakin and Padme. And I think he's all alone now, and having all the power isn't going to be that great when he's miserable and alone without Space Wifey. And he was sent to the Jedi Temple with Luke at a young age, and then he went with Snoke, so he really hasn't had a real life. So he really felt something real when he was with Rey. A couple things I want to talk about that I wonder if they're going to be foreshadows for episode 9 is, one, when Rey says, if I go to Ben Solo, he'll turn. And the other, when Ben says to Rey, you will stand with me. Even though Kylo didn't turn to the light side in The Last Jedi, I wonder if that's a foreshadowing that he will in episode 9, because Rey did go to him. Just because he didn't change in The Last Jedi, maybe that's a foreshadowing that his changes in episode 9. And I think when he was saying to Rey about the whole future thing, you'll stand with me, I don't think that was just applying to the fight scene with Snoke, because they're talking about the future, so I assume that was like the future, not just like what was happening in the next 5 minutes. Rey did go to him, and Kylo was almost with Rey, so he almost had this chance to be with the woman he loves. So maybe because she did go to him and then he lost that with her, maybe that will cause him to change in episode 9. Also, in interviews before the release of The Last Jedi, it was said how Kylo really wasn't that devoted to the First Order, which I wasn't really surprised by that. Because his whole thing against the Resistance is just because his mom was heavily involved and he feels a lot of rejection from his family and he's having an identity crisis. A couple things. I think there's going to be a time jump, just like how there was a time jump in Empire Strikes Back, and that will also give time for Kylo to be really missing Rey. I also think that Rey is actually going to be angrier than Kylo. I actually think she will be the angrier one when they fight, because she was angry in the beginning of The Last Jedi when she called him Murder Snake. And in the novelization Force Awakens, Kylo says to Rey, "You shot at me first, and you were willing to kill somebody that you didn't even know." I think Rey is going to be very angry and hurt that he didn't come with her. And during the end of The Last Jedi, he was on his knees, he was crying. He did not at all look angry or hateful with her, and she slammed the door. So I think she will actually be more aggressive with him in the episode 9 when they're fighting. It will definitely be an emotional fight with a lot of tension. I'm hoping we get a happy ending, and from a marketing perspective, it would be a really poor choice if they used all these characters and then they just killed them and they didn't do anything else with them. And considering how much they are investing in Star Wars, I would not just throw away characters that you could use in other Star Wars mediums and that you've spent so much time advertising and marketing for. So, some things I hope to see in episode 9 that are kind of on my Star Wars wish list is I want to see Mustafar. I want to see Naboo. Since Phantom Menace is the beginning of the story and it began with Naboo, I would love it if episode 9 ended with Naboo. I also want Kylo and Rey to have a romantic moment on Naboo. We all know there would be no awkward frolicking in the field with Kylo and Rey. There would be a lot of romantic chemistry with Kylo and Rey, especially on Naboo. Maybe Kylo will follow his grandfather's footsteps and they'll get married on Naboo. I also want to see Lando. I really, really hope that Lando is in episode 9. Even if Lando just had a small cameo, I would be so happy. And I, of course, want everything to connect. So please help us, JJ, and connect everything. So I would love to hear from you guys. Who do you want to be the villain for episode 9? Is there anything specifically that you hope happens in episode 9? Or is there a character you hope makes an appearance like Lando? And what do you guys think of the Han Solo movie since the teaser trailer has been released? I personally just can't see anyone being Han Solo but Harrison Ford. Nothing personal against the actor who's going to be playing Han in the movie. I just don't think he also really looks like Harrison Ford. Like, Adam Driver looks a lot like Harrison Ford. Like, when you go back and watch the originals when Harrison Ford was young, it's kind of scary how much Adam Driver looks like Harrison Ford. Adam Driver could have played Han Solo in the Han Solo movie. He's such a good actor. I really wouldn't be surprised if he could play Han Solo in the anthology movie and play Kylo Ren. I really want a Kenobi movie series, and I want a Boba Fett movie, and I would totally go see a Palpatine movie series. A Palpatine prequel series would be really cool, and I'm so excited that Ian McDiarmid is returning as Palpatine for Star Wars Rebels. So if you guys enjoyed my video, please give it a big thumbs up, please like it, and please subscribe. If you have any theories you'd like to share or any hopes you have for the Star Wars franchise in general, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And remember, may the Force be with you.